Just enough, ain't it?
I don't know. I'm gonna weld the Zeus tabs out and see what happens.
Really good.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to CJRaceCars YouTube channel, and today we're working on Mullet. We're going to be working on the hot side of the turbo system and the cold side of the turbo system, and Danny is going to be working on mounting the fuel cell. We also got the steering column and some other little stuff done since the last time you guys saw Mullet, and we'll show you that now. I think we make two little, like a little thing that goes around the front, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
I think that'll be perfect, yeah. Other than that, I think it's good.
alright.
I like it. So basically we put this tray here, and that just locates the cell so it doesn't move around a lot. And then we'll just have a cage of 3/8 and 1/2 inch titanium that basically goes over top of this, and it'll have 4 little pins that holds it in. You can pull the pins, pull your fuel line off, and just pull the tank completely out. So that's how we mount the tanks. It's really the best way to do it without having to like put bolts into the side of it or something, which then it could crack. Danny will probably be starting on the titanium cage here pretty soon, and that'll make a little bit more sense.
Oh, looks like the rest of the header is pretty much taken care of too, and we already started on the connection for the turbo.
Yes, so basically what we're working on today is the hot side of the turbo kit, and we're just trying to connect the header to the turbo, because if we don't connect the header to the turbo, well, the turbo's not going to spin, and that's not going to do us any good. So it worked out pretty good. It shouldn't be too terrible. It should just be a 90 and a little bit over a 90 here on this side. You can kind of see we did the other side. And again, we know these are not mirror turbos. Everybody has let us know in the comments that these are not mirror turbos. And I want to explain something real quick. We could go mirror turbo, probably. The problem with mirror turbos is most people don't have them. And if you're stuck in a drag and drive and one of these turbos breaks, the chances of finding whichever one broke is probably not great. So we're keeping the turbos how they were. Cletus has a ton of these spare turbos, and a bunch of other people have similar turbos in case one does go bad while you're driving or the track. You can find one easily. So that's why we're not going mirror turbo. But you can see we got this side tacked together. The header is connected to the turbo. And actually this worked out really well, because this is going to give us a spot where we can come directly in the flow out with our wastegate here. Not sure if we're going to dump the wastegate straight down yet, or try to run the wastegate back out the backside where the downpipe goes, and have them both out the back. I haven't decided that yet, but definitely going to be really nice for wastegate location. They'll both be identical right in the bottom side of this 90 here. This side's all tacked together. I'm going to work on tacking the other side together, work on the wastegates, and work on the cold side next.
Is it about that time?
It's about that time.
Looks like we have a winner.
Oh yeah, we picked the random order for the week to get the weld machine. And we're about to call John Watson and see what his plans are with this weld machine. Maybe he's going to build his own cream puff. Or heck, maybe he'll even win cream puff and the welder and modify it.
No.
Is this John?
Yes.
John, this is Cameron Johnson at Cameron Johnson Race Cars.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. You're the random order to get the welding machine. Nope. You got the Everlast welding machine headed your way.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, do you weld now, or are you gonna learn how to weld with this thing, or what?
You know, I went to aircraft welding school a long time ago in my previous life. I mean, at one time I was actually a pretty good welder, but
okay.
That's not what I do for a living. So, a little rusty.
Well, you got a good welding machine here to practice on for sure. There's the same welding machines we run here in the shop, and I love them. So we'll get this thing boxed up and head your way. I definitely appreciate the support.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let me show. Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Awesome, boss. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no, thank you. Gee whiz.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully that's a good way to start the day.
It is. It's great. Wow. All
right, boss. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, bye. That's cool.
I love that.
He was super excited.
Super excited.
Yeah,
super excited.
He's gonna weld. So
I wonder if he's gonna get back into it like he says he is. That'd be real cool.
Dang, I mean, you know, the good thing about welding is it's something you can't go wrong if you know how to weld. Because once you know how to weld, there's always something you can fix or repair or modify laying around. You know, so And it's an Everlast weld machine. Can't go wrong with that. These machines are the same thing we build all our cars with. Even though John got this here Everlast weld machine, don't forget, you still have a few days to go over to CJRaceCars.com, buy your merch. $5 gets you 1 entry into our Cream Puff giveaway and 2 turbos this week. So go over there in the next few days, grab your merch, get entered into the Cream Puff giveaway. Well, and we may be calling you to give you 2 turbos next week.
I hate this tool.
I just wanted to point something out. Taylor's welding some fittings and an oil pan. I'm not going to tell you what this oil pan's for. I'm going to let you guys guess in the comments. But next Tuesday, or Wednesday, maybe Wednesday, next Wednesday, we're going to put out a video on what this oil pan's for. And I think you guys are going to like it a lot. So make sure you watch that video and put in the comments below. Let's see if anyone can guess what this oil pan's for. You think they're going to guess, Taylor? I bet they're not going to guess. They're not going to guess. Let's see.
Wait a second. Is that? No.
I don't know nothing.
Taylor, you know.
I don't know nothing.
Taylor's starting the completion on the other side, for hot side.
You need 3 hands?
I need to flip this back around. It likes that side better.
There. Well, now, if that works, you gotta take off of here and nothing up here. Because it's pulling out of that V-band.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Cameron just looks at a tube and puts a mark on it and says, here, go cut this.
Oh, you know what? I don't think we ever went through the fuel cell tray. I think you kind of completed that. We were right on that.
Yeah.
So, question for you on the tray. Now, as far as disassembly goes, how quick are we talking about? If we need to change something, if we need to get it out, how fast? Do we have to unscrew those?
So they're Zeus's. So they're just quarter turn. And then it picks up.
What? What do those look like? These are Zeus's, so they're not regular bolts then?
No, they're Zeus's, just like you put on the nose or
Body panels for
Body panels.
removing. And those are strong enough to keep that in place down the track?
yeah, it's just the weight of the tank holds it down, but it's just something to locate it. I believe he's getting ready to make the cage. That goes up.
What now? What?
You're getting ready to make the cage?
I gotta do the back piece first and then do that.
Okay. Which will hold the cell actually in place.
Doesn't fit.
It's still off. And
Which side did you just grind here?
Whatever, yeah, tried to. Whatever you do, don't flip this.
Don't.
Don't.
Makes it worse.
A lot worse.
Does this go in here? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still just too long, I think. We're still just too long. We're close, but we're too long.
I wonder if I take that eighth. It's roughly an eighth to nothing.
See, that's what happened. Yesterday,
I
Taylor cut on the line I wanted, and then ended up an eighth too short. Today, he cuts an eighth past the line I wanted, and that was too long. Unbelievable, Taylor.
Yesterday,
You're getting close.
he said we need to be about here, but cut here. So he extended it. I cut on the line he extended, and somehow it's too short. So
It actually ended up working. It just looked too short.
It worked.
This time he cut it. You can see. Here's my line. Here's where Taylor cut it, and we're about about that much too long.
That's the second line.
We'll cut that one. Let's see what it is.
Cut that. Okay.
Did you see Danny started on the firewall?
Danny's doing a great job on the firewall. See, Danny, there was about 4 months ago, Danny said to me, "I've never done no firewalls. I can't do those firewalls." And anything I've had Danny do, or Danny does, he does great at. He just doesn't like to do things he hasn't done a lot. And now you can't, Danny and I are supposed to be working on his firewall today. I just come in and he's working on the firewall.
I'm taking up time.
He's excited about working on firewalls now.
I wanted that piece done. That's a pain in the neck to make.
That is.
I wanted it done, I wanted it in there because once it's there and tacked in, I can poke holes in it for bulkhead fittings later and run the brake line from the master cylinder to the remote reservoir. But it goes through that piece of metal. So you can't do that without that. And once that's done, I relax a little bit.
These bottom two pieces of firewall here on both sides will be the only steel pieces of firewall. The rest of the firewall will be titanium and removable. Those two lower pieces on both sides are steel.
Is there a specific reason for that?
Well, right there, there's a lot of forming that goes on here. And to form that and then step it the way we do and drill and tap it, it just wouldn't form real good to those tubes. So we just welded that, and it's two really small pieces. So I'm not gonna add a lot of weight making that in steel. The rest of them are titanium because obviously it saves probably, it may save 5 or 6 pounds. So that adds up pretty quick. And if you ever wanted to remove it, you could remove it. So that's why we do that.
Kind of a mock-up of how it's supposed to
Right,
be.
this is not bolted in. I just got it held up here because there's no sense bolting it in when they're going to tack this in and do some welding back there. But this is kind of what it'll be like. And the holes I was talking about is you have two lines that are going to come out of here. One will come out and bend around and come back, and the other one does the same thing, goes back. And up here, there'll be two holes wherever I want to put them for a bulkhead fitting to go through. And instead of having a tank on your master cylinder, which is always in the way of the steering somehow, we have a little aluminum reservoir that we mount up here inside the car that holds the brake fluid. And so that brake fluid has to run down through the lines, come through that bulkhead fitting to get to this, because this is sealed off from the interior. So that's what I'm saying. This has to be made, tacked in place. Doesn't have to be fully welded, just tacked in. And then I'll find out where I got to put my two holes for the bulkhead fittings, and then I can finish around these lines, and then off of that, the lines up to that.
When do you think you'll begin on the rest of the brake lines?
Oh, I don't really know for sure. Got to talk to the boss about that. Oh, that's fine down there. I'm
And then we'll clamp our primer pump to here. So it'll go primer pump.
Yeah, that's
here.
okay. I mean, these fittings that we
Returns
put up
right here. That's return. Because it'll come right off the regulator like we always do on there.
Okay. So that'll be fine. I can run that then.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I got you. I
gotta have it where it's not going to interfere.
Yeah.
That's the center one. That's
Yeah, we centered this one.
So something along there would be the point to where it bent up here, and then it would go down
Oh yeah, you'd be plenty of room there.
Well, there's already a hole there.
Yeah, yeah.
There's also another line that goes there.
Oh,
On
that's
Jamie's car, there was 2
That's
fittings.
different. That's a blower car.
Okay.
This one's going just.
That's the only fitting. Is that one right there? Oh, well, I'm Fat City.
It's good.
Yeah, I can have that line all the way over here. I mean, I can have that mountain all the way over here and all the way over here. That's good.
Perfect.
Okay. Got enough mistakes over there, like St. Christmas stone.
That looks pretty close, right?
I think we.
You got your. I'm not touching it again, but. It's actually, believe it or not, it's almost harder to fit a tube when there's like very little room and you have to hit 2 exact points. Then if it's spaced out a little more, you have a little more play. Like some of these longer tubes, you can play with a little more, where this is like 2 very tight 90s. So there's no real room for forgiveness on those.
I may need to squeeze
Oh yeah,
this
no, I think you're good. Is it in the head right there? Is it in the turbo?
Yeah, it's in it.
Oh, you're gonna mark that thing.
Ouch.
You just, like you said, find the happy medium, because
tack it and then.
these tubes, wherever they're bent and you cut them in the bend, they end up oval instead of round. We try to straighten them the best we can, but it's really hard to get them perfectly straight. So if they're oval and then you turn them this way, they end up hanging off the sides a little bit. You got to straighten them and get them really close. But then when you put lines on them, you got to make sure you don't line one side up, not the other side, and tack it together, and you end up with a big mess up here. That's what we were trying to do, is just make sure it was in the middle, so a teeny tiny bit was on this side and a teeny tiny bit was on that side, and not vice versa.
Say 4 1/4. Yeah, that's on the short side, but that way it's long.
Yeah. Pretty much like that. And then obviously 4 1/4, and just leave a little meat, and then we can kind of try to ease it in there a little bit. They're also on the outside, so just make sure you leave it long for now.
Yeah, that's 4 1/4. So
Yeah.
I'll add another 1/8 or something.
The other way.
Yeah.
You're gonna go this way though. More of it too.
So obviously there'll be more support, but that's going to be the back bracing for the tank.
Yeah, so this will just hold it this way. It'll be 2 tubes that come from here down to the front, and that'll hold the whole fuel cell in. Basically the weight of it, you know, holds it there, and tray holds it in place, and then the cage just really locks it in.
One of the things I do like about the cell is how easy it is to basically come apart. Basically the entire front assembly. You have these here, the front bar slides out. Same with this, once this comes up, comes off the tabs, this will slide up. And then we saw that he's using the Zeus tabs down there. I just learned they're only 1/4 turn.
That's it.
So he doesn't have to actually screw and unscrew if they need to disassemble the front end. That's really cool.
Yeah, one thing about a race car, is they gotta be easy to work on, because at this level, you actually have to work on them. So if you have to work on it, it's gotta come apart easy. You don't wanna have to spend a ton of time getting stuff apart. So that's why we do everything, a few quick pins, a few 1/4 turn Zeuses, and you can pull the motor out, pull the turbos off, whatever you need to do, pretty quick. No, you must have used the Alibaba tape measure or something.
Nah,
like that over there.
no matter which way you turn it, it's not.
No, you got too much angle. Yes. That's what it's supposed to be. So you got a little too much angle here, and you're a little too short. I think.
Yeah, but like we said, Andrew's gonna weld it next week, so just
Unbelievable.
make it.
Fit it like that and give it to the guy to weld. What you got to do is that's tight there. You need a little less angle,
And longer too.
and a little longer, and it'd be absolutely perfect.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Now we're gonna see this, but I don't think this is gonna.
I don't think it's gonna be any better, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean they're actually pretty similar. They're just opposite. That's gonna be too much. It's still too much angle though. That one's actually gonna be almost straight. Believe it or not, that was not gonna have much angle at all.
Well, can we?
Yeah.
Can if we play with where this is, will you think it'll get any better or any worse? I mean, I know it'll get worse.
Maybe.
I know it can get worse.
Maybe.
But
Let's see.
I wonder if we can get any better.
Let's see. It can always get worse. for
Always
sure.
get worse.
Come. I don't know if that's gonna come down with it.
I'm trying. I'm losing it.
Oh
There
gosh.
we go.
So now you're close on a length, right? But you still have too much here, and now it's not.
Yeah.
So we still need a longer piece with less angle,
Okay.
I think.
I'm gonna try to get one on the bottom. I don't know if I can.
This tube I just bent has got a little slightly twist in it. It look like it's straight up and down. That'll work. Now, make the front piece.
And that's going to be the 2 bars that you were talking about that are marked here.
Yeah, I got little tricks for that.
Oh, are those pre-existing mounts that you've done in the past, man? Are those pre-existing versions that you've done in the past?
These are just pieces that I've bent up to get my bend angles. All they are is just like my brake lines. There's big brake lines. You got a bending starting point and a bending end point. So what I do is I'll get one of these that fits this radius. And then all I do is take and transfer that mark to the tank. Then I measure from here to that mark, and that's where I make my bend. And it works. You got to straighten out a bend a little bit, find something nice and solid that's got a hole in it. And just pull a little. Might have done it a little bit too much. Yeah, a little too much. Kind of hard to tell, but this is not absolutely flat. So what I'll do, since that's going to go there, it's important to keep this pulled up against the back of the fuel tank. You don't want to have a gap back there. That's why you almost need 3 hands for this, but you just kind of hold that like that. That's touching. That's touching. Now you just transfer that mark over. And you always just give yourself a little bit extra. By a little, I mean a little. All right. Now, I double check that line to make sure. And as you can see, that line pretty much lines up with that 0 line. That's what I want to know. Not quite. Too much. Pretty close. That one is a little bit shorter this way. Not much.
Look at that.
This gets cut off quite a bit. It'll get cut off the distance from there to here.
For the tab.
Right, you put the same basic tab that's made out of titanium, gets welded to here. Same clevis will go on the end of that. And then when that's welded on, there'll be a crossbar that'll run probably down here. Tie them together, and then when you want to take this off, you pull that pin. It'll be a quick pin. You pull that pin, pull a pin, pull a pin, pull a pin. This thing just lifts off, and then fuel cell comes out. Oh, that's right. I gotta bend this out.
You just have a little more bend here, but I think your peak here would be almost this height, and it would make the blow-off valves and everything the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you'd have them both. I hate to do it because I know it's a little more work, but I think it'll look better.
You don't hate to do it. You don't hate to do it. Don't lie.
Box of goodies.
Most racework stuff can't beat that for sure.
So you said you had a better idea?
I had a better idea. Well, add to that. We had this down lower before, and where it was going to come in like this, which would have looked fine. Would have been more opposite of this. But putting it up here like this, we can do this, and it kind of looks more similar. And then our blow-off valves will be both facing in more symmetrical areas. So the function the same, but it'll look better doing it the other way. So he's going to recut this tube. We're going to make it look right. I think that's too much. Danny Adams. Right, Danny's what? Look at that.
we could be working at a more bad spot.
Danny sent me right back to my office.
Send you right back.
As you guys know, we have our cream puff plus $10,000 cash giveaway going on. But what you might not know is Danny, Taylor, and Andrew have their own t-shirts on the website, CJRaceCars.com. And the proceeds of those t-shirts go to them. So if you guys want to support them, they're what makes it happen out here. Honestly, I just hang out. These guys make it happen. Go get a t-shirt. Put some money in these guys' pockets, and you might win cream puff. Look at Danny.
Goes to a very worthy cause.
Hair gel.
Taylor, what are you going to do with your proceeds from your shirt?
I know what I'd like to do, but we'll see.
I wonder if he's going to buy that race car.
Huh?
I wonder if he'll buy that race car.
Maybe. You never know. CJRaceCars.com. Get entered into our cream puff giveaway and help the guys out in the south.
Danny and Taylor got a lot done today.
They got a lot done today. They really did. They got the down pipes of the turbos tacked together, and the cold sides all tacked together, and the blow-off valves installed. It's all tacked, still needs to be welded, but we got a lot done together. And I know someone might say this, so I'm going to address this before they do, because they said something wrong with their cream puff. We tacked these blow-off valves on, and we did not put a hole in the cold side yet. What we do is we weld it all the way up, and then we put the hole through the inside. That's the easiest way to do that. So before anyone says that, yes, there will be holes in there, and the blow-off valves will function correctly. Danny also got the titanium cage completely done for the fuel cell. So the fuel cell is completely mounted. The turbo kit, other than the wastegates, is completely done, and the downpipes off the back of the turbos, out the fenders. Man, we're making some really good progress. We will have to figure out where we're going to put an alternator and the fuel pump. But after that, we're going to start back on some cage. We're going to have Steve on some of the cage next week. So we'll wrap up the cage, a few body mounts, and we'll be swapping out the body on Mullet. But that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.